So what we have here is the cover for issue 4 of Do a Powerbomb, and that is the tag team they are facing.
Do a Powerbomb.
I don't remember the tag team name. My apologies. It's the two brothers.
Space Knights.
What we do find out a little bit about their backstory. Do you remember that the Orangabang was fighting for their sister? We do find out.
Everybody has some sort of
Everybody
tie.
has somebody that they're fighting to bring back to life.
Yeah,
exactly.
They all have a why.
Which is compelling in a way because you know motivations and
Sure.
for them. And we find out that the Vikings team or the Medieval Knights team here, motivation is they are one of the groups that was battling Necron. Remember when he said I was going to take over the world and then I finally got vanquished here? He's fighting this group of people.
Okay.
And they think that they could have dealt the final blow and finally taken out Necron for good if they would have had, I think his name's Velkus the Red.
Sure.
Like their big, strong warrior who had
Velkus
died in battle.
Yeah.
So the two of them are training, and I love there's a montage of them training because they're going to win this tournament to bring back Velkus.
I do love the montage word. That's very nice.
It gets. I love the humor in this book too. I think we talked about it a little bit. There's a puppy punch, but there's other great beats of humor throughout the whole thing. Like it.
Yeah. If you didn't see last week's, go watch them punch a puppy.
And no, they're stopped before they punch the puppy.
You're not supposed to tell them that.
Wow. Oh.
There might be some of those freaks
Well, some
out there
people
that
might
just
be like,
wanna...
I don't want to see a puppy get punched and not go.
Yeah, but we've got freaks out there that want to see a puppy punch too. So.
Do you think they listen to us?
Maybe.
Okay. And so there's a training montage.
I know a lot of people, Zach.
Yeah, sure. There's a training montage of them getting ready for the tournament Then what happens is we get a cut back to Cobra Sun and Lona getting ready for the second match. And Cobra Sun tells Lona, hey, before you were born, you don't know this, but your mom and I were actually a tag team together. And Lona's like, oh, how was that? And Cobra Sun just tells her like how great she was. Like, you know, she could tell, what is it? It was like how she would just move so flawlessly. And she was so great with her storytelling. And she just knew everything. Like she was just so phenomenal of what she could do as a tag team wrestler. And he talks about that he can kind of see that in her a bit. And we get like some flashbacks of Lona's mom and Cobra. Well, it's her mom and dad. Like she doesn't know it yet, but it's her mom and dad. They're wrestling together as a tag team.
It's really cool how it shows like she's got that soft tap off of the turnbuckle.
Yes.
And then everything else is just bam, bam. You can tell that this is all planned and executed well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah. And we get to see that their old tag team finishing move was a thing called Sword Sunrise, a move. It's like a powerbomb clothesline combo, which will come back later then.
And at the end, they show their ding-ding right there.
Yeah. And so Lona says, since you two work so well in tandem together, like maybe you could show me some of those moves and we could use them ourselves. Yeah. And that leads to, that's what he's sitting there. He's like, everything fit perfectly. The flow worked. Like we worked so well together as a unit. And so Lona's like, maybe you can teach me these moves then. And we get another montage, which I love, again, the way it's cut together of them training together and him teaching her.
If you're just listening to this, it is the words, another montage at the top. Yeah.
Which I, again, love the humor.
Great. It's great.
Just the big splashes of color there of the training, like the action. And then, he's like, so how do you feel? And she's like, I feel like I'm ready to kick some ass. And there's like an explosion behind her and like oh yeah. I just love the way it sets up for it. Well, the match does not go so well. Lona starts off and she is just kind of beaten around the ringer by the big, muscly brute one of the medieval tag team. And they even
Would you say Eric the Red or whatever?
Yeah. Or no, Velkus the Red is who they're trying to bring back. I don't remember. It's like Maximus.
Oh, that's who they're trying to bring back.
Yeah, it's like Maximus and something else. We said their names at one point in time, but I don't remember what it is. But they go for their finishing move, which is called King Arthur's Table, which is kind of like the 3D mixed with a code breaker for very wrestling nerds out there, of the team move. And the skinny one's knees was he crashes down to the mat. He like has him tucked into. It's hard to describe it over audio, but he's like has his knees tucked into his chest, kind of, with Lona's head up against his knees as he hits the mat.
Yeah.
And it looks like, oh, it's obviously a 1, 2, 3, but she is able to kick out of it. And then the big one beats her up a little bit more, and Lona still has that moment of like picking herself up. And because he's like, stay down now for good. If you know what's good for you, don't get back up.
Yeah.
And she has a nice little montage of like, you don't know who I am. Like, I'm Lona Still Rose. And like, my mom was Ewa Still Rose. And like, she just kind of wipes the blood off her face as she's just sitting there all beaten up.
Yeah.
God,
the art in this is really good.
It's so great.
Yeah.
The two battle
Really well
back
done.
and forth. She's able to, that's what it was. Cobra Sun comes in to help, and he does like a German suplex. And as he like has him down, Lona tags herself back in, goes back up to a turnbuckle and does a drop kick like right to the Adam's apple of the bigger knight, and she pins him. As she's pinning him, the little knight, medieval guy, goes to try to run in and break up the pin, and Cobra Sun stops him from doing that, and they get the 1, 2, 3, and Sun and Steel, since it's an 8-person tournament, advance on to your finals now.
Wow.
So, who are they going to face in the finals, you ask? It's going to be either Fizo, who we saw earlier at the bar, who they already have beef with.
Great vaccine, by the way.
They do.
Yeah.
That was Pfizer,
Oh, okay.
right?
Sorry.
No. And then they're going to take on a team from Tokyo named Puropack.
Puropack.
And they're confused.
What the hell does that mean?
Lona and Cobra Sun are confused when they're like, Tokyo? Like there's another team from Earth. And as they're walking out there, Fizo is kind of like, giving the same thing. Oh, look at you. Do your worst, Earthlings. Ha. Like we're scared of you.
Yeah.
And one of the guys goes to take his mask off and goes, oh, don't you worry. I plan to. And it's Uncle Blood.
Oh.
So they are not the only ones. And Lona and
so what does
her
he
dad,
get out of it?
Lona and her dad are also surprised. They're like, what? And then she's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, you think that you two are the only one who want to bring Ewa back?
Oh, okay.
And he's like, I'm the only ones that you're the only ones that Necron invited to. Like, she was my sister.
Yeah.
Like, that makes this my fight too.
Well, it's a good point, but he also must have known he was going to fight them at some point, or there was the possibility.
Well, maybe
of
at that
him.
point they think one of us will just lay down and we have
Yeah,
it.
maybe. Yeah.
Or we'll fight honestly for it. But before he can finish that, like, this is my fight, he gets attacked before the bell rings, and Fizo just does their worst. They deliver one move that like attacks his neck, and then the woman like comes up behind him and just starts choking him.
Yeah.
And he's like already in a lot of pain, and he's like crying through it, and they're asking him to like, tap, and he's refusing to, obviously. Like he wants to bring his sister back no matter what.
Sure.
So he's like, I'm sorry, but like I'm not. And like here's the thing, eventually he passes out. He doesn't like he refuses to give up.
Yeah.
And so he passes out instead, and the ref calls for the bell because he's out.
Yeah.
But they're not done. Like the woman refuses to let go, and she's like, think he learned his lesson for like kind of attacking us? And the other guy's like, no, I don't think so. And so he jumps from the top with like a boot right to his neck, and now he can't move. Like this is after the match is already over. They keep attacking him.
Oh my goodness.
And we find out that he has broken his neck.
Oh wow.
But thankfully, Necron has hired the best doctors there because he doesn't want.
Well, they're space doctors. They should be able to fix that, right?
He doesn't want anybody to like get fully hurt here, but
Sure.
like they're out. He can't be healed from that.
I doubt that he actually gives a shit whether anybody gets hurt or not.
He doesn't.
He wants them to continue.
Exactly.
He needs more content. He needs more fights.
So Uncle Blood will be okay, but like obviously they didn't follow rules.
You break your neck, you're kind of screwed.
And
for a
so
little
Cobra Sun tells him, you know what? I have an idea. we're going to show them just how real we can get.
That chair with the freaking
barbed wire
on it
it
is crazy.
And he's got a bag full of, other weapons. There's some kendo sticks, a bat with barbed wire. But essentially he tells them, all right, they want it to make it real. We'll show them just how real we can get then. And so that ends issue 4.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.